Marian Knights are proud to partner with ISC Sports Network to broadcast Marian men's and women's basketball matches this year. You can find all the games at MUKnights.com or at ISCSportsNetwork.com. Without further ado, let's go ahead and send it to the court as we meet tonight's starting lineups.
There's something that may surprise you about.
At guard, number 1, Jalen Rano. At guard, number 3, Joffrey Nunnally. At forward, number 14, Ben Fotz. And at forward, number 21, Aitor Anabatarte. The Saints head coach, Ryan Marks. Ladies and gentlemen, starting lineups for the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints.
And so there you saw head coach Ryan Marks, the head coach of the St. Francis Fighting Saints, in his 8th season as the head coach of St. Francis, his 19th year coaching overall. And of course, you talk a little bit about some of the other players they have as well. Rami Davis, who started 18 games for the Saints just a year ago. He had a team-leading scoring average of 16.5 points per contest. He also led the team in rebounding as well. And so when you take a look at the size of Coach here quickly, how do you kind of get into that and you talk about that? But first we'll get to that in a little bit here, Coach. Let's send it back to the sideline here for the starting lineups.
University Knights. At forward, a 6'8 freshman from Pendleton, Indiana, number 2, Josiah Guston. At guard, a 6'3 redshirt freshman from Muncie, Indiana, number 34, Aiden Franks. At guard, a 6'3 sophomore from Greenfield, Indiana, number 3, Dylan Bowles. At guard, a 6'4 redshirt junior from Johnstown, Ohio, number 4, Gavin Foe. Rounding out your night starting lineup is a 5'11 senior guard out of Cicero, Indiana, wearing number 0, Gus Atchison. The Knights head coach in his first season, Pat Knight. Ladies and gentlemen, starting lineups for your Marian University Knights.
Well done as we get set to go here in this one, the home opener of the Marian University Knights here against the Saints of St. Francis. And Coach, talking about Gus Atchison in particular in that starting lineup, he holds a special place in your heart as well.
He absolutely does. Gus's father, Tony, was one of the best players that ever played for me at Noblesville High School. He's in the Hall of Fame already, and he was one of the youngest coaches to show the respect he had to get elected to the board of directors for the Hall of Fame. And Tony was just a great young man, outstanding family. Of course, his little brother Tillman's out there in uniform also, but Tony would be so proud of what his sons have done and what they're doing.
Gus Atchison, of course, the leading scorer a year ago for this Marian Knights squad, 23 points per contest. He had a game last year where he went off for 43. Looking for more performances just like that from Coach Pat Knight as well. As we're underway here in the first of 2 halves here in this one, and like we just said, Gus Atchison not wasting any time.
Well, Gus can get to the basket about any time he wants to. It's very difficult to stay in front of him. And if he does get stopped, you just mentioned he's a deadly three-point shooter.
So St. Francis on the ball here for the first time in this one. And there you see, of course, Davis.
Very interesting. 1-3-1 zone by the Knights.
And right on cue goes Jalen Renew to answer.
Bob Knight Sr. Did not think the zone existed, but
outside, 3 ball on the way, and that is nothing but net there for Aiden Franks, the redshirt freshman. Certainly one of the many young pieces that we talk about here this season, Coach.
Yes, we talk about the fact that there's only 2 seniors on the Knights ball club, so the youth is going to grow up quickly. But I tell you, that doesn't mean as much as it used to, in my opinion. They play so much AA ball and play it nationally all over the country. The kids are more ready to play early in their career.
Trying to answer with a 3 ball is Renew, but on the second chance opportunity there is Anabatarte, the 5th-year man, standing 6'8" there for St. Francis. Atchison deep from behind the arc, and he is fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3. Again, further illustrating just how much of a versatile player Gus Etchison is.
Got all the way to the basket last time, easy lay-in. That time behind the three, and you just mentioned he proven last year that he can be great from behind the three line.
Standout player at Hamilton Heights as Coach Pat Knight looking on.
Gus averaged, I believe, 24 points a ball game last year.
Has also been a reliable free throw shooter in his time, as there is a look at Coach Ryan Marks, 19th year coaching. Had a stint, of course, in a managerial role with the Los Angeles Clippers when he first started out in his coaching career. Coached, of course, also at Southern Vermont before ending up here at St. Francis.
Interesting that the St. Francis is playing 5 out for the most part, and then they'll rotate down inside.
Stingy defense here by the Knights, but it is well navigated that time by the Saints. Laid in again there by Ben Fotz.
Excellent passing in that possession.
And a foul in transition. Etchison certainly not afraid to take the ball right to each and every player that he comes up against, as that's another foul drawn here on St. Francis.
I think St. Francis is clearly, they're going to keep someone on Etchison the entire ball game. He is their key scorer. They're going to crowd him all night. He's already picked up 2 fouls, so they have got to guard him, but he's so quick. He's tough to handle.
Here is Moles working inside, loses the handle, and it's going to be the first turnover of the ball game here for the Knights. Dylan Moles, of course, having played with one Braylon Mullins, who was his junior at Greenfield Central before coming here to Marian.
The Knights have switched to a man-to-man defense. I would suspect that would be Coach Knight's primary defense this year. He threw the 1-3-1 out there, and they were, honestly, St. Francis was getting some good looks against it, so he switched up into his man-to-man.
Fotz rotating inside. 2 offensive rebounds here for it. Make it 3 offensive rebounds for the Saints, and make it another steal as well. And so St. Francis working hard in traffic, using that size advantage. And Abatarte called for traveling. Turnover here for the Saints.
You would expect that the Fighting Saints will go inside a lot, as you just mentioned, Kurt. They've got a lot of size advantage. And it only makes sense when if you got 6'8", 6'10", you're going to take the ball down inside.
Gavin Foe puts it up from the elbow. That's a little off the mark. And Marian so far has gone 0 for the last 3 shots, as quick in transition and a blocking foul going to be called. And that's going to be Gavin Foe picking up his first.
See the replay on that. Wow, it looked to me like the defender was set. And Coach Knight would agree with me. He had a little conversation about it.
Jalen Renew at the foul stripe. Saw limited action a season ago here for St. Francis. And he goes 2 for 2 to give St. Francis their first lead of the afternoon. Etchison, one-on-one, draws yet another foul here on St. Francis. This time, going to be called here on Dakota Joachim.
6'3" junior. And again, they're going to throw a lot of bodies at Gus Etchison. They better find some quickness to play in front of him.
Spinning inside is Moles. Finding a seam is Foe. Tries to leave it for Guston. And from the elbow that time, can't quite get that one to fall. No field goals in the last 2.5 minutes here for Marian. Etchison, double team. Has to find somebody. Triple team, loses the handle. Somehow finds Guston.
Very alert play there by Guston. He knew Etchison was stuck between 3 players, and he cut and gave him a passing lane. Too many times the teammates stand around and watch the game and say, boy, he's in trouble. No, you got to go help him.
Deep three doesn't fall there for Etchison. And so the scoring drought continues for the Knights. Here's Anna Batarte. 2-on-1 that time. It pays off for the Knights. Loose ball. And after Etchison dribbles off his foot, he's able to get it back. Three on the way from Franks. Still nothing falling here for Marian.
Early in the season, and remember, a lot of young guys in the Marian lineup. May take them a while to settle in, and I'm sure Coach Knight's going to use 8 or 9 guys.
So both teams in a scoring drought right now as we head to the under-16 media timeout. 8-7 in favor of St. Francis here in this one, the home opener for the Knights on ISC.
We jumped in immediately.
It pours, so trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That is who we call. Special thanks to AAA Roofing for their support of Marian Athletics. With Coach Dave Nicholson, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Coach, right now both teams are 0 for their last 5 field goals. How do you coach your team to try and get one in the net?
Well, that could all change if one shot drops. Early in the season, first real game for the Knights, or the Saints, and the second real game for Marians. But they will settle down, and they can shoot the ball well, and that will happen. But I did think there was a couple of questionable shots taken. They had defense in their hand and maybe a step wide. I'm sure the coach will adjust that.
Gavin Foe leaves it back now for Jackson Ames, who is into the ball game for the first time, adding a little size down low for the Knights.
Wide open.
Nicely taken shot there from Gavin Foe, just a little off the target. Sheer Morady is into the game for the first time as well here for St. Francis, and they turn it over.
Morady missed Davis on the back cut. It was just a miscommunication. Good idea because he was going to be open.
Etchison works it around here to Foe. Inside here for Moles. Lots of ball movement here for Marian. As Etchison attacks inside, can't get it to go. Slapped out by Ames. Moles defended hard that time, and a fadeaway jumper falls. And as you just said here, Coach, one finally fell here as the Knights reclaimed the lead.
They got to 6'10", Merritt Small down inside.
And Small certainly not playing like he is small as he goes inside. It's knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay here with St. Francis. Merrick Small, you mentioned, Coach, a redshirt junior here for the Saints. 14 games last year, starting 11.
Both coaches using substitution early. Early in the season, you're trying to sort out. Some guy may look really great in practice and just doesn't happen in games, and vice versa. Some guy that struggles in practice may light it up in the game.
Quick in transition comes Aiden Franks.
You take about a month, 4 or 5 ball games, and you sort that out.
Franks trying to find his opening.
Pretty good footwork for the 6'10".
Moles from the top of the key. Bingo! Much needed 3 that time here for Marian, and it gives them their largest lead of the evening.
Sophomore out of Greenfield, Indiana, has 5 points already, Moles.
USF trying to answer here, down to Small, and it's touched out of bounds. Good defense there from Jackson Ames. Marian coming off a 23-8 season from just a season ago. As Ames gets the block from behind, we'll see who the foul is on here from Marian. And they're going to give that one to Aiden Franks. That'll be his first.
Two guys on the ball, and the inside guy had a block, but Franks came in from back. They pick up the personal.
So this puts Connor Casper at the line here for St. Francis. Second most experienced player on this team coming back here for Coach Ryan Marks. And he hits both of them. Long three, can't quite get that one to go as Etchison has gone cold from deep after hitting his first three earlier on. Trying to draw the foul. He doesn't get the foul, but he does get the shot. Does Dakota Joaquin. And an offensive foul going to be called here on Marian. Jackson Ames runs into the defender that time. And now a handful of substitutions here for Coach Pat Knight. Three-ball bingo that time for Delshawn Sims, who's into the game. Returning junior here for St. Francis. 7-0 run here for the Saints as they take a three-point lead. Moles working inside, whistle before he gets the shot off. And they're going to get the foul on the floor here against St. Francis.
It'll be on Casper.
So at the moment, Coach, right now, St. Francis pretty much doing anything at will down low on both ends of the floor.
Well, they definitely have the size advantage. We talked about that before the tip-off, and that's good coaching. If you got the size advantage, take it inside. And if the defense starts to help out, you've got your shooters spotted up, just kick it back to the open man.
Etchison still has not been able to get one to go through ever since his first shot. He's just going to take it right to the rack and finally almost just can't get it to go. There is a lid on the basket here for Gus Etchison in particular. Here is Sims back the other way, and he balks that one. Here is Noah Lovin, who is into the ball game here for Marian. One of the new acquisitions, a freshman. He gets inside, and he'll get the and one here for the Knights.
Nice feed there by Gus Etchison. He's drawing a lot of attention. He takes the ball down inside, and instead of standing around and watching, his teammate cuts to the basket, ends up and one.
Well, a longtime supporter of Marian University athletics has been the Michaelis Corporation. From ground-up building projects to around-the-clock emergency security services, no one answers your prayers or the phones quicker than Michaelis. Call 1-844-FIX-INDY. That is 1-844-FIX-INDY.
Noel Lovin going to try the N1 and gets it.
And just like that, we are tied back up at 15 points apiece. A few new players in here as well for Coach Knight. El Hadj Diallo, the redshirt freshman from Brownsburg, just up the road, making his home debut here. You also have Hayden Nara in as well.
Diallo had a great high school career playing for Brownsburg, and he redshirted the year. I expect him to be a big-time player for the Knights.
Sheer Morady gets his first bucket of the evening. Back and forth battle here through the first 10 minutes. Again, home opener for the Knights. Trying to replicate some success from a year ago. Moles all the way around the horn to Carroll. Luke Carroll working his way inside. Step back jumper, can't get that one to go off the back iron. Loose ball fought for and picked up here by USF. Cutting pass down low. And tough shot made there by Aitor Anabatarte.
Little high-low action, 6'8", 6'9", pretty good combination.
Marian struggling here on the scoring end, and it continues as El Hadj Diallo misses that one. Cutting inside, stolen away by Carroll. Carroll has a little bit of help, leaves it outside for Moles. Moles' pass tipped up and stolen away by Morady.
One-on-one.
Mismatch this time for Morady, and he misses the point-blank opportunity.
Probably could come to a jump stop. He had the great size advantage going up, laid it off the glass.
3 on the way from Lovin, and he hits it. The freshman making his impact early here off the bench, and he has 6 points.
Yep. Neither ball club's been able to run the basketball. That's not probably in their MO as a team, but no fast break action, all half-court action.
Squirting his way inside is Anabatarte, and he draws the foul down low.
Excellent drop step move by the big guy down on the post. Spun right around the defender. Here's the play right there, moved the baseline, and Diallo picked up the personal foul. He was coming to help, but he was giving up a lot of size.
Media timeout on the floor, 8:10 left to go here in this opening half, here on the ISC Sports Network. Point game favoring the Saints of USF here on the ISC Sports Network. Alongside Coach Dave Nicholson, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Coach, shooting has been a little bit of an issue here for Marian. They are shooting just 6 of 18 here to start this game off.
In the last 2 or 3 minutes, St. Francis has really picked up the offense. They're playing with more confidence. Now, I think, no question, the Knights are getting good looks, but they're not dropping.
So here is Aitor Anabatarte, the 6'8", fifth-year senior here for St. Francis at the line. And he misses the front end of 2 shots. That's the first miss of the night here for St. Francis. USF going 10-16 a year ago en route to an 8th place result out of the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Of course, you have other teams like IU South Bend, Roosevelt, Illinois, and Olivet Nazarene playing out of that conference as well. Certainly competitive. Here is Carroll.
One thing about Kurt, on the shooting percentages, when you use a lot of kids, if each guy only misses 1 shot, then it makes the team percentage look bad. So you got to have time to get into rhythm, and you just saw that on Diallo.
That'll make it a little bit better there as El Hadj Diallo hits a much-needed 3 for the Marian Knights to give them the lead back.
And the Saints have done a better job of getting close-in shots. And the reason, they have tremendous size.
Pretty obvious foul call there that time as the drive inside there by Davis. And a well-taken charge that time there by Dylan Moles as he hits the deck. By the way, if there can be any sort of good thing here on the defensive end from Marian in this early going is the fact that they have held Rahemi Davis, their leading scorer from a year ago, to a goose egg here in the first 13 minutes. Here is Levin, hard inside, and he gets the finger roll. How about this freshman showing off here in front of a really good home crowd here to start off the season here at John Grimes Court. Long 3 that time, and that is hit there by Nick Nigo, the sophomore who comes off the bench once again here for Coach Marks after coming off the bench in that regard at 26 games a year ago. Carroll loses the ball, stolen away here by Nigo. Another turnover. That is now the 4th turnover of the ball game here for the Knights. Nigo loading it up again off the back of the iron.
No question, Levin has really got the hot hand. They may want to look for number 11. I've got him for 2, 4, 6, 8 points already.
Spinning move inside. Good post play there by the 6'6" redshirt sophomore in Luke Carroll.
Out of Westfield, Indiana, the Shamrock.
Of course, a team you are very familiar with out of Hamilton County.
A lot of good players, a lot of good teams in Hamilton County. It's one of the most balanced sectional tournaments in the state. Good run out. Love can chase it down.
You said to look for Lovin, Coach. Hot hand continues as he now keeps things going. He has 10 points to lead all scores.
One of the rare breakaways in this ball game. Most of them have had to earn their points on the half-court play.
Oh, and a whistle down low. Going to be a foul coming up here on Marian. And Coach Knight not exactly thrilled with that officiating call there, but that is the call nonetheless, as Carroll will pick up his first foul.
He did it with the offhand. See, that left hand was resting on his hip, and Coach Knight was looking at the front side. He got the ball clean, but he had his left hand in the back and picked up the foul.
Double team inside on the big man. Nearly results in a turnover as Sims will load it up with a hand in his face from Lovin, and he knocks it down.
It's his second three in the ball game for 6 points. You got to think if University of St. Francis hits those threes and you come out and guard them, then the big guys inside take over, so it's double sword.
Etchison tries the dish down low to Diallo, but he gets his pocket picked. And now Joakim loads it up there from the elbow, nothing there. Inside the final 5 minutes here of the opening half. Here of this one.
Special play called by Coach Knight from the bench.
Carroll trying to find a seam. Has Nara on the cut. Diallo, top of the key, three. Their last 6 field goals are the Knights, and they hold out to a 5-point lead.
I really liked Diallo when he was in high school. He was a great player, and I think he'll end up having a good career here.
There's a steal by Lovin. Lovin with lots of numbers. Diallo right to the rim. Timeout taken here by St. Francis. And this will serve as our under 4 timeout as well. Lovin hitting Diallo right to the basket. And that takes it to a 7-point lead here for Marian on the ISC Sports Network. Well, be sure to grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, a proud sponsor of Marian University Athletics. Also a special thanks to BSN, the preferred provider of apparel for Marian Knights Athletics. Alongside Coach Dave Nicholson, I'm Kirk Darling. Coach, you take a look at Coach Pat Knight right there. So far, 7-0 run here so far for Marian as they go into these final 4 minutes.
Well, the two guys that have been carrying Marian are off the bench. You got Lovin comes in, he gets 10 points, and then DeLello has 8 points. So they said we're a very deep ball club. They had 8 or 9 guys. So it's a matter of sorting out who's making the baskets tonight, who has their game going tonight. Coach is doing a good job of that.
Merrick Small back into the contest here for USF as they go big down low, and it pays off for him as Anabadarte cleans it up.
Anabadarte gets down low. Marian has no one that can deal with him. You cannot let him receive the ball that deep.
4 of the 5 starters back on the floor here for Marian. Diallo, the only bench player, and he keeps making them pay from behind the arc. His 3rd made 3 of the evening.
Backdoor cut.
Cutting inside is Richardson. That is Sean Richardson. And cleaning things up there from behind the arc is Sheer Morady. So we've gone back and forth, but Marian has made each of their last 8 shots. And keeping it rolling there, 9 for 9 now. That time is Gavin Foe.
Both teams settled in the last 3 or 4 minutes here, Kurt. And it takes that long early in the season. And again, you got to get used to playing with 8 or 9 guys. It takes a while to get the feel of the game, and sometimes if I'm that guy off the bench, I feel like I've got to make something happen so that coach won't take me out.
Here is Merrick Small, and he gets that off the dish from Sims to cut it back to a 5-point deficit. Here is Etchison, right to the rim. And looked like there may have been a block that time from Morady. And that's the first missed shot there for Marian in their last 10. And we have a foul, and it's going to be an offensive foul. The officials didn't quite look like they knew what to call there.
The guy underneath, he didn't make a call, and he looked the outside. I thought it was a charge. But you make the call.
Gavin Foe taking another charge right there. That's the second time he's done that this evening. And it results in another turnover here for St. Francis. Gavin Foe from the elbow, hand in his face. Diallo there on the offensive rebound.
I said early on, I loved him as a high school player, and they're going to love him here the way he's playing.
Well, El Hadj Diallo has overtaken Noah Lovin as the leading scorer here for Marian. Both players coming off of the bench for Coach Pat Knight.
Now the leading scorer, of course, Gus Etchison, he's had a really tough offensive half. But if you recall back last year, he's capable of exploding.
Indeed he is.
I suggest he'll come out in the second half and light it up.
Foul inside this time is going to be on Gustin. That'll be his first. And back again here is Anabatarte for his third trip to the foul line here today. And he knocks it home. Of course, my mistake there. Anabatarte's first trip to the foul line. I had him and Merrick Small mixed up that time.
.168, 1.610, and both in black uniforms. Pretty easy to do.
You mentioned it, though, Coach. A lot of size down low, and that has really been one of the things that has kept St. Francis in this ball game, is being able to get and do anything they want in the paint.
Yeah, we talked about that up front, that the size was going to be hard to handle when you've got 6'8", 6'10", and then you've got another 6'10" and another 6'8" coming off the bench. And Marian just does not have that size to contend with them down low.
We're in the final minute here of this home opener at John Grimes Court. Aiden Franks can't connect on the floater along the baseline.
Great friend, John Grimes. Coached here many, many years. Had a tremendous success here.
Sims, hard pass inside to Anabatarte, double teamed, and the foul called. And that'll be again against Gavin Foe, which will be his second foul. And Anabatarte back to the line. He has 8 points. And he has now hit 3 of those from the charity stripe. Both teams shooting 50% from the field right now, as Marian is 6 of 10 from behind the arc. And a whistle and a quick 30-second timeout here, taken here by Marian. So while we have a moment, if saving money is important to you, visit Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, a proud sponsor of Marian Athletics. To show our support, Tom O'Brien will be donating $200 to Marian for every car any student, parent, employee, or friend of Marian buys with this mentioned promo. Go Knights, and go to Tom O'Brien to see how our family works for you since 1933. So, Coach Dave Nicholson, what is being discussed right now here amongst Pat Knight and company?
Keep doing what we've done the last 3 minutes. Give the ball to Danilo a lot. He's red hot. And before him, Lovin was having a great half, and he knows Gus Hutchinson going to get his points before the night's over. So I think he feels okay with that. Looking in the huddle there, the Knights, new assistant coach Todd Howard. He's a veteran coach, great guy. He was at Carmel the last couple of years helping out. He was a head coach at Rebuff High School, head coach at IUPUI, and then assistant at Louisville. So he's had quite a background, and he's just a great guy and he's a good basketball man. He will help this program a lot.
Final 8 seconds. Noah Lovin outside to Moles. 15-footer on the way, and he drains that one. And as time will expire, that is a big shot. Taken that time as the full quarter. Does not quite get there that time for Richardson. But Marian takes a 5-point lead going into the half off a nifty shot there from Dylan Moles. Your halftime break coming at you next. You're watching Marian Knights basketball here on the ISC Sports Network. I'm Kurt Darling. Second half underway here. 20 minutes of ball left to be played here in this home opener here for the Marian Knights.
Always interesting to see what adjustment each coach makes at halftime.
And as you might expect, Coach, both Diallo and Lovin starting the second half here, with each of them having the hot hand from that first half.
And the first possession, St. Francis went back what they were doing well early. They go right into the paint.
Here is Davis. He was held without a shot and a point in that opening half, and he finally gets on the board with his first 2 off of that shot inside. Lovin up top to Ames. And back around here this time to Luke Carroll. Moles. Carroll along the right side of the key. Step back jumper. Can't get that one to go as the shot clock expires. Empty possession there for the Knights. Sims, he made 2 3-pointers in the first half, and he adds another one right there. And just like that, Coach, it's a tie ball game.
Out of the locker room, St. Francis has made a good adjustment. They're drawing the defense inside with the big guys, and that leaves Sims wide open outside, and Davis also scores.
Diallo trying to work inside. Dylan Moles does the same. Ames, corner 3 on the way, leaves that one way long. You don't normally see the big man taking those big shots, and he misses that time. And a foul as Carroll got a little handsy that time. Maybe a little bit of a selling job there by Anna Batarte.
I thought he got across the arms with it. That wasn't as much as I thought. There wasn't much contact there. You're right. The offensive player there sold that pretty well by jerking his head back like he'd been hit by a truck. Must have been the wind off of it.
That's now 2 fouls on Carroll, as the empty possession may turn into some dividends here for Marian. Diallo inside to Ames. Ames, long hook shot, gets that one to go. Talk about one of the hardest shots to defend in basketball, Coach.
You don't see it too often, but when you've got the size advantage that Ames has, it's a good shot. It's a little soft hook, little jump hook, pretty hard to block.
Foul underneath as Carroll came away with it, and it looks like it is going to be Carroll. And correction, it's actually going to be Noah Lovin picking up his first, although it could have been a handful of players right there picking up the foul.
There was 3 of them there. Diallo was refereeing a little bit. He was calling a travel all the way, but he doesn't have the whistle, so he loses that.
Sims on the mismatch, stolen away by Diallo.
He'll go all the way.
Right inside, gets his own rebound, can't get both shots to fall. That is certainly frustrating.
Yeah, great effort to get the rebound and just touch it off the glass.
Davis on a mismatch there on Moles, and he draws the foul, and he'll go to the line.
First foul on Moles. Didn't have anybody any type close to serious foul trouble in the first half.
Rahemi Davis, a native of Miramar, Florida, averaging 17 points a contest for his career, but he has been mostly held in check tonight, as now that is only his 3rd point here early on in the second half. Davis with the long stroke that time, and he ties this one back up.
Good start for Davis. He had, as you mentioned, nothing in the first half offensively, but he's a scorer. It's just difficult to keep a real good score down for the entire game.
Diallo off the ball fake. Into the corner, Carroll right along the baseline, tries the delay, nothing there. And Marian has now gone 0 for their last 3 possessions, and Davis gives the Saints the lead back.
I think maybe Davis got a message at halftime. He's got 6 points already here in the 3rd period.
It is a 6-0 run here for St. Francis. Lovin can't break it.
Neither ball club is hitting the offensive boards very well. Very few offensive rebounds in this ballgame.
In fact, 5 to Marian, 4 to St. Francis in that regard. Anna Batarte working on Moles that time and gets checked out of bounds, and it'll stay here with St. Francis.
Anna Batarte said he was hooked.
So Josiah Gustin will check back in. Again, Josiah Gustin, a native of Pendleton, Indiana, played at Pendleton Heights, a dominant player for the Arabians in his high school years. Davis working in on Gustin, and the defensive prowess pays off. Moles, top of the key 3, leaves that one short. And so Marian now, coach, has gone 0 for their last 5 shots, almost a mirror image of how the first half started.
Coach Knight's hoping the same thing happens the rest of this half because they heated it up. And you're going to see Gus Etchison come back into the ballgame. And he had a very poor offensive first half. He'd be the first one to tell you that. The stats don't lie. But he does not lose confidence. He's a very confident player. If he gets the shot, he gets the opportunity to drive, he will take it. It doesn't matter if he's 0 for 10.
Etchison had 21 points in the season opener on the road at IU Southeast. 3 ball left well short that time by Morady. Here is Etchison coming hard in transition. Dishes it outside. Carroll with the delayed finger roll, and Diallo cleans it up.
Having quite a ball game. I've got Diallo for 15.
Knotted up at 45 apiece. There's a missed layup on the other end here for St. Francis.
Nunley wide open pretty much and just rushed a shot.
Moles left open at the elbow. Moles getting a little jersey tuck there on Davis as he tries to go for the steal. Here's Nunnally. Haven't said his name a lot here tonight for St. Francis. Sims loses the handle. He can't pick it back up, otherwise going to be called. Finally gets it back, leaves it underneath for Small. Blocked from behind by Gustin. And Small gets the offensive rebound. The shot clock expires. It's going to go out of bounds, and a fresh 20 here for St. Francis. We'll catch our breath here, Coach, as we go to the under-16 timeout. 45 apiece here in this one at John Grimes Court. Back in a moment on ISC. Logistics Marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark. As a third-party logistics company in North America, Spot gives you the tools to tackle industry challenges for our partners. Here, initiative, drive, and teamwork form the basis of a rewarding, fast-paced career. Visit Spot Incorporated, that's spotinc.com/careers for more information today. Spot is a proud partner of Marian University. Alongside Dave Nicholson, I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, both teams struggling to get the ball in the net once again here in this one.
You're seeing some great defensive plays. Just before the break there, Guston had an excellent block and just about ran the shot clock out on St. Vincent, but St. Francis, they get a new possession, new clock.
And so Davis will try and take advantage of it. Guston, though, another big defensive play as he snags the rebound. 3 on the way from Franks. Just off the mark from the end corner.
Both ball clubs have really picked up the pace here in the third period. We didn't see any fast break like that the first half.
Swiftly down the lane goes Morady. A handful of lead changes here so far as Etchison finally breaks his stalemate and he gets an easy lay-in. St. Francis going through their paces here as Morady works inside, and a held ball is going to be called, the arrow favoring Marian.
Small, as I said, they had both of my arms. But the official's right, and it looked like on the replay that the foe had the hand on top of the basketball.
Both teams playing tough, 5 lead changes. Here is Etchison trying to find an opening, weaving his way in and out in the high post. And Moles from the elbow. Can't get that one to go. Touched out of bounds. And it'll be USF ball. Dylan Moles also struggling just like Etchison trying to get any shot to fall.
Yeah, Moles had a great look at the basket. Wide open, just didn't get it drop.
Both teams were shooting well over 50% at the half. They've fallen below that now. Marian in particular, 42% on 19 of 45 shots taken. Trying to find Small inside, can't do it. As Richardson works it back over to Anabatarte. Stolen away by Guston. Josiah Guston, the freshman, coming up big on the defensive end here for the Knights. And here is Franks. Nothing there again. And so far, Marian coach has hit 2 of their last 12 shots taken.
The Knights are trying to play a little quicker, but they may be pulling the trigger just one pass early. Questionable shot.
And on the rebound, Dylan Moles had it, but stepped on the baseline. And that goes down as another turnover here for Marian. That's now their 6th of the ball game. And ever so slightly touched it, as you can see right there. And so a fresh 20 for St. Francis. Small has his pocket picked by Guston. He's going to go right to the rim, and he too has it picked there on the other end by Richardson, but he's slapped across the wrist, and a foul called here in transition.
Gosh, nice real tight by Guston to take it all the way to the basket. He was going to dunk that basketball. And that's what you got to do when he was going up and slam it. He does that with the greatest of ease.
Well, St. Francis has had 3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes, and Marian hasn't really been able to do much with it as they get a rare point off of a turnover there with that made free throw. In fact, in that regard, Marian has 12 points off of turnovers to St. Francis's 3.
Bit of a surprise. That is Guston's first 2 points in the ballgame.
But it gives Marian the lead back as we've now had our 6th lead change.
I'll tell you what, Small's doing a great job posting up down there, and they're a little hesitant to throw him the ball on the low block.
Anabatarte Off the double team, tries inside, nothing there. Loose ball touched out, and it'll be turned back over here to Marian. By the way, Coach, as far as Smalls, pretty good play down low. I wonder if it's the power of the mullet that he's sporting here out there right now.
Could be.
Gavin Foe off to Etchison. Franks pump fakes, drives inside, and gets the roll to go that time. He had struggled, but finally sees one go in. This ties the largest lead of the ball game for either team here in this one at 4 points. Loose ball stolen away by Gustin, who goes into the heavens and reaches out, and he's fouled that time there by Morady. What a play there by Josiah Gustin. He has really come on strong. In fact, he has forced all 4 of the last turnovers in the last 3 minutes.
Well, if they haven't seen him play, you and I have seen him play enough. He's not only a great jumper, he's a quick jumper. He's up and down quickly, and he gets a lot of hands on the basketball, and he gets a block shots.
Etchison can't get the running 3 to fall. And another empty possession here from Marian. Here's Joakim, blocked there by Gustin, but also a little bit of body with it.
Yep. Just a little bit over-aggressive there.
And that'll be Gustin's second foul. And only the team's 4th. As this will put Dakota Joakim here at the line. Of course, plays with his brother Don Joakim here as a redshirt senior. The second Joakim hasn't seen any minutes so far here today. But Dakota misses the first foul shot, as we'll see Connor Casper check back in here for Coach Marks.
Coach Knight had an extended conversation there with Gus Etchison. It wasn't a critical one because he ended up just slapping him on the backside. In other words, he knows how explosive Gus can be, and he knows he's going to need that explosion before this game is over.
You know better than anybody, Coach, sometimes players simply have a tough game.
And if it's going tough, I think the coach, just what Coach Knight did there, you find a way to pat him on the back. Get your confidence back up.
Etchison threads the needle to Franks, and he leaves that one well short. Sprinting down the court there is Joakim. Davis gets a lot of help that time, and Fotz can't convert the point-blank bunny. Etchison splits the defenders, loses the handle. The track meet has broken out here in this one as Fotz makes up for that missed opportunity last time. And so again, a game of spurts to say the least here, Coach, as neither team has been able to break out. It's back to a one-point ball game. Etchison off the right side, gets it to roll off of the nifty play through the air. Davis back the other way. He can't convert. Loose ball, rebound by Foe.
Oh, the Fighting Saints have had some tough times around the basket. They've been down inside, been wide open.
Etchison with a long two-pointer right there. And now the largest lead of the ball game at 5 points here for Marian.
Well, we talked at halftime, Kurt. Gus Etchison's not going to be shut out. Not for an entire game. He had a tough first half, but he's showing signs now of taking over.
Joakim cuts to the basket. And a foul going to be called down low here by one of either two players here. It's going to be Dylan Moles. And that'll be his second. So full timeout taken here on the court. And we will take one with them. Back in a moment here on the ISC Sports Network. All of the up-to-the-minute information on Knights athletics at MUKnights.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, or on X rather, at MU Knights. That is at MU Knights. Alongside Dave Nicholson, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Coach, 5-point lead here for the Knights, the largest lead that they've been able to have to this juncture so far over the last 10 minutes. Now it's about keeping that lead till zeros.
It's two players. Didn't get much done in the first half. Davis did not score in the first half. He has 6 points already and really taking the ball at the basket. And, of course, Gus Etchison had a difficult first half scoring. He has 6 points here in the third period. It's those two guys that have taken over for each of their ball clubs.
So here is Dakota Joakim. Only 1 point tonight and make it 2 off of 2 made foul shots here for the time being. Both teams shooting relatively well here from the foul stripe here. Say USF, 12 of 15 foul shots taken so far. And make it 13 of 16. Noah Lovin back into the rotation here for Coach Knight. Etchison off the screen, has the ball on a rope, somehow gets it back out to Lovin. And here's Moles with a lane, lays it up, leaves it short, but draws the foul.
Good job of protecting. He laid it out deep in his left hand, and the defender couldn't get to the ball, but he got to him. One thing I've noticed the last couple of times, the Knights have had Moles running the point. He's bringing the ball up. That frees up Gus Etchison to move without the basketball. They're guarding the ball, so when Gus gets the ball, he's one-on-one. He's very effective with that.
And Dylan Moles knocks down the first of 2. It's hard to believe here, Coach, this is the 70th year of Marian basketball. The program played their first game on December 3rd of 1954, of course, which was a 53-51 loss to Indiana Central, of course, which we now affectionately know as the University of Indianapolis.
A lot of history. Great place for young men to play basketball. And I mentioned earlier, it's impressive the number of Indiana kids that get a chance to play within their home state. They have 11 players from Indiana on their ball club.
Noah Levin called for the foul there. Foul is on the floor that time. The Knights only have one more foul before they give it up to the 1-and-1 bonus. Of course, that's something of a rarity to say nowadays here in high school ball. Of course, here in Indiana, the 1-and-1 now lost to history with the 5-foul rule going right to the penalty 2 shots.
Non-existent. I'm not a fan of that rule. I think there's a certain, not only for the coach, but for the players to learn when maybe your team's down 1 and you're up there in the 1-and-1 with seconds ticking away. Handle the pressure, knock 2 down, you win. If you don't, you probably lose. But I think there's some value in that. And I don't think, they said it speeds the game up. I really don't think it speeds the game up that much.
Davis off the inbound, time expiring, and he can't convert. Etchison, ball handles right up the gut and knocks it down from just inside the arc. Well, Coach, if he can't hit it from outside, he'll hit it from inside. He's made his last 2 shots from that regard.
8 points here in the third period.
12 on the game for Etchison.
And no one is surprised at the fact that he was going to loosen up and play.
Working inside here is Anabatarte. He goes right over Gustin.
Nice step through by the big guy. He had a defender on either side. He was, as you mentioned, he stepped through, laid it off the glass.
7.5 left to play. Etchison takes the bump, blocking foul called. And of course the foul on the floor will be an inbound here as Etchison a little gimpy coming up after taking that hit.
I think he bumped his kneecap a little bit the way it looked in the replay. You probably have to carry him off to get him out of the game.
Certainly a player like Gus Etchison, lots of experience, by the way. This is his second season here with Marian. But of course he started his career at Western Michigan, where he played a handful of seasons before coming here down closer to home. Etchison, corner 3 on the way, gets it to go and draws the foul. A 4-point play opportunity here, facilitated by Gus Etchison.
That's his 11th point here in the third period. And I mentioned the fact that his father was a great player for me, quite a different player. Tony, his father, was a 3-man, could penetrate to the basket, had all kinds of ability down in there to drive around. Gus is much quicker. Tony was also 6'3", and Gus comes in at about 5'11". But No question about the athletic genes and the basketball ability.
Of course, you did a little bit of talking to people here before we got things going here today. Of course, Gus Etchison's grandfather in attendance here tonight as well.
His grandfather's here, his mother and his mother-in-law and father-in-law, and his older brother, Tim. Tim also played 1 year for me at Noblesville. He moved in his senior year. He was a 6'7", big guy. Did a great job for us.
And then haven't seen him tonight, though, Tillman Etchison, Gus's younger brother, playing here for Marian as well. 1-and-1 opportunity here converted by Anabatarte, so he gets an extra foul shot. He now has 13 points here to lead things at the moment for St. Francis.
Now, Anabatatre has been the best player for University of St. Francis. No question.
Here is Noah Lovin. He has not scored here in the second half after going off for 10 in the opening period. Etchison on the mismatch here with Ben Fotz right in his face. But still, Etchison not afraid to let it fly. Can't get that one to fall. Certainly a interesting concept right there, having Fotz play the high post on Etchison. Meanwhile, Fotz in the low post loses the handle, blocked from behind there by Josiah Gustin.
Put the bigger guy on Etchison, and it might have bothered him a little bit. Tough to get over.
But now you have Joffrey Nunnally back in here working on Etchison. Here is Gavin Foe trying to give a little bit of space for Etchison to do what he does, scooping it underneath to Gustin. Time running out here. It's going to be an over and back violation. And another turnover here, just the 8th for the entire ball game here for Marian.
I'm not comparing the two. They're quite different players, but Smith, that plays at Purdue, played at Westfield. The way he hangs in the air and finds an open man, makes the impossible pass. You can see that with Gus. I thought he was in trouble 3 or 4 times, and he found an open guy up in the, while in the air.
You mentioned Braden Smith there from Westfield. Gus Etchison certainly was very familiar with Braden Smith in that regard, of course, having played at Hamilton Heights.
As a coach, you don't encourage anybody to make a jump pass. But in Smith's case or Etchison's case, it's okay because they get away with it.
Big 3 ball taken there by Sheer Morady. Back to a 4-point game. Etchison into the lane, and the bounce pass was touched that time. And now a traveling violation going to be called here on Morady, and he can't believe it.
Now watch, he goes down on the floor. I think he did travel. He drug it a little bit. Great effort on his part. He felt like he was down on the floor. Would have been a legal play, but he drug his foot on the way down.
Timeout on the floor. 5:47 left to play. Back in a moment. Actually, we'll keep it here on the ISC Sports Network. My mistake here. And so while we have a moment, Hoagies and Hops has been serving Pennsylvania-style hoagies and cheesesteaks in Indianapolis since 2015. Located just 5 minutes from campus, Hoagies and Hops is a proud partner of Marian University Athletics and will provide a 15% discount for all fans. Just show your game day ticket or your Marian ID card. For hours, menu, and location, visit hoagiesandhops.com.
Coach Marks from St. Francis had a long discussion with the official over that travel call. And I see the 3 officials are huddled. I often wondered if they ever come into the huddle and say, I blew that. You know, it's hard to get an official to say that, but I wonder if they do among each other, or what the heck are they talking about? Were they going to eat on the way home or what, you know?
Of course, from the human nature aspect of that particular call on travel, you know, some people may think that that may have been too much of a ticky-tack call, but when you look at the replay like we just saw, there's certainly a case.
It was a travel, I thought. Since I got out of coaching, that's quite a while ago, all the officials usually come over before the game and say something. And I said, you wouldn't believe how much better you've gotten. You know, setting 3 rows up. You look a lot better.
A difference of perspective, to say the least. So out of the timeout here, Gavin Foe takes things up here for Marian. Here is Moles, swooping inside and gets that one off the glass.
That's a heck of a play because he had a man against him, but he shielded with his body and was able to fade just enough to get the shot off. And not only get the shot off, but have the soft touch off the glass. 4th
player in double figures now for Marian is Moles. He has 11 points. Nunnally loses the handle, picked up and taken away by Foe. He hits or tries to hit Etchison in transition, but it's stolen away by Sims. 3 on the way by Nunnally. Nothing there. Offensive rebound and shot doesn't go by Morady, but he'll go to the line.
That was a great defensive play by Sims in that long down court. Hustled back. And actually, I think Etchison thought he was in the clear, and the pass was just thrown a little bit short, and Sims was right there on the spot to deflect it.
Well, joining the M Club is the absolute best way to support our student athletes. When you join the M Club, your gifts support Marian student athletes by enhancing the stability of our athletic programs through scholarships and enriched facilities. To join, visit marianedu.com/M Club and to see the many benefits of becoming a member today.
Rory knocks down the free throws, and this ball game's tight. 4 points and 4 minutes and 55 seconds to go. A lot of time.
Etchison turns the corner, leaves it up inside. Lovin tries to get the rebound. Poked away there by Small. Oh, but look at Etchison reaching again up into the sky to get that one back down. And another turnover forced here by Gustin. Josiah Gustin has forced 5 turnovers in this half on USF. Etchison off of Gustin again. Gets a little bit of help from Gustin that time. Gets his own rebound off of the miss.
Kick it back out.
And loose ball taken here by Lovin.
Lovin's been kind of quiet here in the second half. He had a tremendous first half with 10 points, and he may have to step up and make it a basket or two to help Gus Etchison out.
Media timeout on the floor. 65-61 your score. 4:06 left to play here in this one. It's a tight one. Going to the final period of this one on the ISC Sports Network. The Athletics is excited to launch Phase 2 of their athletic strategic fundraising campaign to provide student-athlete scholarships and facility enhancements. The goal is to raise $3 million by the Clayton Family Circle of Honor event in April of 2025. You can make your gift by visiting marian.edu/journey to 2030. Additional information can be found at munites.com. Alongside Dave Nicholson, I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, it's crunch time here for both of these teams to put this one away.
Well, if you're a coach, there's a ton of time on that clock. Coach Knight would like for it to run fast, but there's plenty of time up there, and particularly with the shot clock, 4-point lead is not safe by any means. I think someone's going to have to step up and help score for the Knights. And the logical, he hasn't scored a field goal yet. I'd watch for Gustin down inside because he can finish.
And the aforementioned Gustin will pick up now foul number 4, it appears. No, it'll be called on Dylan Moles, so that'll be his 3rd. And Marian trying to keep this lead here as St. Francis works in the bonus.
That's another advantage. St. Francis in the bonus, and they have another foul to give before the Knights get to go to the free throw line. That's really critical down the stretch of the last 3 minutes.
Foul shooting critical here for St. Francis over the entirety of this game. As with that shot, they are now a 19 of 22 foul shots taken.
And we've got a 2-point game.
Marian has 4 turnovers in a row. Gavin Foe knocks down a big shot from the elbow.
What a big shot by Foe. That's only his second basket of the ball game. Came at a great opportune time.
St. Francis took a 91-43 loss to Illinois Chicago in their exhibition game. This is their first game of the entirety of their season on the regular season regard.
Nice rebound.
Small on the offensive rebound, gets it to go on the putback.
Somebody missed a checkout because he was unmolested there.
3 minutes to play. Etchison has Lovin. Etchison breaks inside. Foe left open for three. Yes, sir!
Great assist there by Gus Etchison. He's going to draw the attention, and he did. He drew three defenders, Mo wide open, and stepped up and knocked it down.
Gavin Foe with 5 straight points makes it a 5-point game. Davis.
That's a charge.
Pretty easy call for the official, and even better awareness, though, as well by the sophomore Moles, who has certainly been doing a lot of that. That's the 3rd charge he's taken today.
And the next foul, then you're going to see the Knights at the free throw line. That's really important with 2:24 to go. You got to think that the Saints are going to be putting the pressure on and put you at the free throw line. You got to knock them down. In any close ball game, the key comes down to the free throw line, in my opinion. Rebounding and free throws.
Speaking of rebounding, Marian being out-rebounded 25-19 in this one as Moles takes it inside, and a timeout going to be called here by Coach Knight as they try to put something together here to close things out over the last 2 minutes, 11 seconds.
We talked, Kurt, somebody had to step up and help Etchison, and Dylan Moles decide, I'm the man. I'm going to help and get this thing done. He's had a good ball game at first and good balanced half in each one, but hit the free throws and the field goals down the stretch.
7-point ball game here in this one. Again, held scoreless here in the second half, no 11, but it has certainly been offset now by Gus Etchison, who only had 4 points in the opening half, but Coach, he now has 16 to lead all scorers.
And as you said, I think he had, 4 at halftime? But you and I knew that wasn't going to end up on 4. And the good players, every player's got to have confidence. But if you're a good scorer, missing a few shots does not bother you mentally, because you know sooner or later they're going to get on that roll and get those points back.
Etchison, just one of 2 returning players on this roster here for Coach Knight. Jackson Ames being the other one. And so far,
excuse me, Kurt, 1-3-1 zone.
And Sims tries to shoot over that 1-3-1, and he hits it. But you mentioned it, Coach. When you hear the name Knight and a 1-3-1 zone being played, that's not something you see very often.
And if you're going to zone, you still got to guard the ball. And Sims there had a wide open look. I mean, no one went at him and challenged him. They didn't close out.
4-point game. Etchison right to the rim, gets the roll. 18 points now for Gus Etchison.
And back to the man-to-man. That was just a one-time thing. I think that's a good coaching. Throw a little bit of gimmick at them or whatever coming out of a timeout, make them adjust. They just forgot to guard the outside shooter.
And so Joakim takes advantage of the fake out and rattles that one home. Back-to-back threes by St. Francis, cuts it to a 3-point ball game. 1 minute to play. USF 3 of their last 3 shots. Marian 4 of their last 4.
It's important that the Knights come up with something because it's a one-possession game. Free throw would be fine.
Etchison loses the handle, poked out of bounds, and it'll stay here with Marian.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Got to attack.
And now Coach Ryan Marks going to call a timeout here as he'll want to talk things over with his players.
I keep mention my man Guston. You know, I still think he might be the guy to go in there. Everybody's going to think Gus Etchison, or they're going to think Moles. And lob it into the big guy, let him challenge down there. He may have to go to the free throw line and finish it off, but.
So they're going to take a look at this again to just see who the ball may have been off of. And it looks pretty clear cut that is off of St. Francis right there, off of Joaquin.
And when it first happened, I thought maybe Gus hit it with his right leg, but the ball did not touch his leg. I think the call will stand up and it'll be the Knights basketball. Right here, I thought maybe at our angle, it looked like, but it showed clearly there. I think it's going to be Marian Knights basketball.
It's a critical time, obviously. They're trying to see, it may have gone off of the foot of Etchison. Again, you see the poke right there, and then no, it did not go off the foot. So bad angle on the other side, obviously, when you're looking at that as well, but still, it looks pretty clear cut. By the way, want to give a shout out as well to our ISC Sports Network crew with the excellent camera work right there as well. Vince Morella is our director, as well as Carlos Alcaron on the replay, working his magic there as well. Then Rob Lynch, Brian Pierce, and Daryl Tibbs, our cameramen here this evening.
Done a great job.
So just a little bit more as they try to confirm this.
I think if I'm the Knights, you only have 6 seconds to work with. I go on a quick pick and roll with either Gus, or you could go with Moles because he's been playing very well. And everyone might probably think they're going to give it to Edge. Give it to Moles, set a little screen. If you can't get to the basket, pull up and take the shot. If you got any type of crease, attack the basket and put the pressure on the defense to get to the free throw line.
So the call stands. It will be Marian basketball.
It's critical that Marian comes up with something because it's a one-possession game. And we've got 44 seconds. That's a lifetime out to it, particularly if you're a coach.
It's Knights basketball.
So no 11 here with the slap. Etchison, corner three, a little too strong that time. Poked up, and Guston had it, and Lovin comes down with the rebound.
Fortunate that Guston, he went a little bit over the top there. I didn't think there was enough for a foul, but if the official's looking at the different angle, he might have called that. So big play.
But a fresh 20 seconds as time starts to wind down here.
Run it all the way down.
Etchison throws it up, gets it to go. Another and one from behind the arc for Gus Etchison.
Slow it down or throw it in. He decides to throw it in. You know what I said about confidence.
Gus Etchison, 21 points off of that shot, takes the contact. He did it from the corner earlier on in the half. And when it comes down to it, Coach, when you have a player like Gus Etchison who puts the team on his back like he has, it pays off. So now St. Francis, with not a lot of time left here, 10 seconds and a turnover.
That's a backbreaker.
17, now 18 turnovers today here for St. Francis. And St. Francis going to call their final timeout.
With 10.4, it's going to be tough. If the Knights can inbound the ball safely, the game's over. The way they were lined up, and the coach Marks may change this, they were face-to-face at the 10-second line, and the Knights were in what I call I formation. If you want to gamble, and it wouldn't be much of a gamble, fake a little to right, release to the basket, you got a lay-in. I would suggest that the Saints may come out and leave one guy back.
Also want to take this opportunity as well to let you know to tune in on ISC Sports Network on Wednesday at 7 o'clock as the Marian Knights men's soccer team will be taking on Spring Arbor for a Crossroads League championship. It'll be hosted just outside of here, of course, at Ascension St. Vincent Field. You can catch all of that right here on ISC Sports Network. Myself and Brant McCoskey will be on the call of that one. Again, Marian Knights Soccer going for a Crossroads League championship right here on ISC. So 10 seconds left to play here in this one. 77-71. Gus Etchison, 8 of 20 shooting today. Certainly not the best shooting percentage, but when it counts, he has made shots when he's needed to. And now if you're Coach Ryan Marks, you need a couple turnovers from Marian here to try and cut into this one and do what you can here with very little time.
And they're doing a smart thing now. They put Anabarte back on defense so you can't throw that touchdown pass.
Gustin underneath, wisely takes it back out to run clock, and he'll go to the line for 2. Or rather a 1-and-1, excuse me. It's only 7 fouls here on USF.
He's made a couple of free throws, his only score, according to my chart, in the ballgame. But he has contributed in many ways down around the basket. He's really the only great size that Marian has, and he's only great size because he's a great leaper. But he's done a good job of battling the 6'8s and 6'10s down there and holding his own.
He's forced about a third of the turnovers that St. Francis has had here today. Again, 18 in that regard.
And how many times has St. Francis got down inside, looked like they had a sure layup, and he interfered with the shot enough to force him to miss. So good ball game. It proves that you don't have to score a ton of points to help your team win. You got to have those guys.
Gustin goes 1 for 2. Last chance here for St. Francis. Nigo loads it up from deep. That is no good. Follow-up shot doesn't go either. And the final horn sounds in this one. The Marian Knights winning here in their home opener, move to 2-0 to start the season. A great way to start off the tenure here for Coach Pat Knight at Marian.
Outstanding. And I thought he made some really good adjustments during the game. Give him credit on that. And the players also. Some of the players that were really playing well offensively first half, they didn't get much done offensively second half, but they stayed in the ball game mentally and played their tail off on defense.
The Marian Knights on the road now at November 12th against Indiana Tech. That's a game tipping off at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. For Dave Nicholson, I'm Kurt Darling, saying so long till next time. You have been watching Marian University Knights basketball here on the ISC Sports Network. Till next time, so long, everybody.